Picture this. Somewhere beneath Alexandria's bustling modern streets, buried under 2,300 years of sand and secrets, lies history's greatest treasure. Not gold, not jewels, but something far more precious, the tomb of Alexander the Great. Tonight, we embark on the ultimate archaeological adventure, following new discoveries that could finally solve this ancient mystery. What if I told you we might be closer than ever before?
Alexander the Great. Even his name sends shivers through time. Born in 356 BCE, this Macedonian prince didn't just conquer lands, he conquered impossibility itself. In 13 short years, he carved out an empire spanning 3 continents, defeated armies that outnumbered his 10-1, and proclaimed himself son of Zeus. He was more than a king, he was a living god walking among mortals. But gods, it seems, are still mortal. At just 32, in the sweltering heat of Babylon, death came calling. And with his final breath, the greatest mystery in human history was born. When Alexander's soul departed, his empire didn't just fracture, it exploded. His generals, once brothers bonded by blood and victory, transformed into rivals overnight. Enter Ptolemy I, perhaps the most cunning politician of the ancient world. While others fought over territories, Ptolemy saw a different prize. In a move so audacious it would make modern politicians blush, he hijacked Alexander's funeral procession en route to Macedonia. This wasn't grave robbing, this was the ultimate power play. Possession of Alexander's body meant legitimacy, divine approval, and eternal glory.
Memphis, city of pharaohs, where the pyramids themselves seem to bow in reverence. Here, in the most sacred necropolis on earth, Alexander underwent the ultimate transformation. Egyptian priests, masters of immortality, worked their ancient magic. For 70 days, they wrapped the god-king in the finest linens, anointed him with precious oils, and placed him within a sarcophagus that blazed like captured sunlight. Solid gold encrusted with gems that sparkled like stars. But Ptolemy's vision reached beyond Memphis. He dreamed of something unprecedented, a tomb worthy of the son of Zeus in a city that bore Alexander's own name.
Alexandria, pearl of the Mediterranean, beacon of knowledge, and now eternal resting place of a god. Here rose the Soma, not merely a tomb, but a temple to immortality itself. Imagine walls of pristine white marble reaching toward heaven, chambers lined with crystal and gold, and at its heart, a sarcophagus made of transparent crystal through which visitors could gaze upon the preserved face of divinity. This wasn't just architecture, it was theology carved in stone. Pilgrims traveled from the ends of the earth to kneel before this shrine, to touch the presence of the man who had touched the face of eternity.
They came bearing the weight of empires. Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, trembling like a schoolboy before his hero's tomb. Augustus, first emperor of Rome, so overwhelmed by emotion that his trembling hands accidentally damaged the nose of the sacred mummy. These weren't tourists. They were titans of history, paying homage to the greatest of them all. Mark Antony himself, future lover of Cleopatra, stood where we long to stand, gazing upon the face that had gazed upon India, Persia, and the edge of the known world. These accounts, preserved in ancient texts, are our last reliable witnesses to Alexander's physical presence on Earth.
But time, that great destroyer, had other plans. Alexandria, jewel of the ancient world, faced nature's fury. The earth shook with devastating earthquakes that toppled temples and split harbors. Tsunamis, born in distant seas, swept away entire districts. Floods carried centuries of silt and sand, burying the past beneath layers of forgetting. Each disaster pushed the Soma deeper underground until even memory began to fade. By the 4th century, the last records fell silent. By the 5th, even the location was lost. The god-king who had conquered the world had been conquered by time itself.
But the human spirit refuses to surrender to mystery. The 19th century brought archaeological fever, and Alexander's tomb became the ultimate prize. Heinrich Schliemann, discoverer of Troy, turned his legendary obsession toward Alexandria. Giovanni Battista Belzoni, tomb raider extraordinaire, searched beneath the city's foundations. One by one they came. Scholars, treasure hunters, dreamers, and madmen, each convinced they would be the one to solve history's greatest riddle. Over 140 official expeditions have been documented, from Victorian gentlemen with shovels to modern teams with ground-penetrating radar. Each failure only deepened the obsession. Today, the theories multiply like shadows at sunset. Beneath Alexandria's modern streets, construction workers occasionally glimpse ancient walls and hear strange echoes from below. The Nabi Daniel Mosque, built over sacred ground, whispers with unexplained sounds from its crypt. Could Alexander rest beneath Islamic prayers, his pagan soul sleeping beneath centuries of different faiths? Or perhaps the answer lies further west, in the Siwa oasis, where the oracle of Ammon first proclaimed him divine. Some even dare suggest Venice, where the relics of St. Mark might conceal the bones of the Macedonian king, hidden by medieval monks who knew not what treasure they possessed.
Then came 2009, and everything changed. Dr. Calliope Limneos-Papakosta, a Greek archaeologist with an unshakable conviction, was on her final day of what seemed like another failed expedition in Alexandria's Shalalat Gardens. Her team was packing equipment, dreams deflated, funding exhausted. But fate, it seems, loves dramatic timing. In the last hour of the last day, her excavator struck something extraordinary. White marble, carved with unmistakable Hellenistic features. It was a statue, but not just any statue. This bore the face of Alexander himself, perfectly preserved after 2,300 years underground. The discovery that would restart the greatest treasure hunt in history.
But archaeology in the 21st century demands more than hope and shovels. Enter the machines. Ground-penetrating radar sweeps through Alexandria's subsurface like electronic bloodhounds, mapping every anomaly beneath our feet. Underwater archaeologists in scuba gear explore the sunken royal quarters in Alexandria's harbor, where 3,500 ancient artifacts lie scattered on the Mediterranean seafloor. Satellites in space peer through urban development with LiDAR technology, revealing ancient street patterns invisible to the naked eye. Every digital beep, every sonar ping, every thermal anomaly could be the signal that ends 2,300 years of waiting.
But perhaps the most tantalizing discovery lies 50 kilometers west of Alexandria, at a place called Taposiris Magna. Here, Dr. Kathleen Martinez has uncovered something that defies explanation: a tunnel system carved into living rock, stretching 1,305 meters underground, partially flooded by ancient earthquakes. In 2024, her team discovered 337 coins bearing the image of Cleopatra VII, along with artifacts that could rewrite history. Could this tunnel, dedicated to Osiris and Isis, lead to not one, but two legendary tombs? Some whisper that Alexander and Cleopatra, separated by centuries in life, might rest together in death.
Beneath Alexandria's harbor, an entire city sleeps beneath 20 feet of Mediterranean water. Here lies the palace quarter where Cleopatra herself once walked, where Roman senators negotiated, where the lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders, once guided ships home. Marine archaeologists have cataloged over 3,500 artifacts. Marble statues with faces worn smooth by centuries of tide. Granite columns that once supported royal halls. Sphinx statues that guarded sacred spaces. Each piece tells a story, and together they whisper a question. If the royal quarter sank, did it take Alexander's tomb with it to the deep?
But why? Why does Alexander still grip our imagination after 2,300 years? Why do people mortgage homes to fund expeditions, sacrifice careers to chase shadows, dedicate entire lives to a dead king's whereabouts? Perhaps because Alexander represents something eternal in the human spirit. The refusal to accept limits, the dream of touching infinity. His tomb isn't just archaeology, it's psychology. We project our deepest yearnings onto his legend, making this quest as much about discovering ourselves as discovering a grave. In finding Alexander, we hope to find the part of us that refuses to surrender to impossibility.
As we speak, the search intensifies. In 2025, new technologies emerge monthly. Artificial intelligence analyzes satellite imagery for patterns invisible to human eyes. Quantum sensors detect minute variations in underground density, and DNA analysis promises to identify any organic remains found. Dr. Papakosta continues her excavations in the Shalalat Gardens, each day bringing new possibilities. Recent ground-penetrating radar has revealed large underground chambers near her site, chambers that could change everything. The question is no longer if we'll find Alexander, it's when.
Yet, with each discovery comes controversy. When artifacts are found, armies of experts debate their significance. Is that marble statue really Alexander, or merely another Hellenistic prince? Are those coins evidence of royal burial, or simply ancient currency lost to time? The academic world fractures into camps, believers and skeptics, optimists and realists. But perhaps this controversy is fitting. Alexander himself was controversial, a figure who divided opinion even in life. Some called him a visionary, others a madman. Some saw a liberator, others a destroyer. Even in death, he continues to provoke, to challenge, to refuse easy answers.
Beyond archaeology, Alexander's missing tomb has become a cultural phenomenon. Hollywood films imagine dramatic discoveries. Best-selling novels weave romance around ancient mysteries. And video games let players experience virtual treasure hunts. Tourism to Alexandria surges with each new headline, bringing economic hope to a region that has waited millennia for its greatest secret to emerge. Local Alexandrians speak of the tomb as if Alexander were a beloved neighbor who simply moved away. When they find him, they say, the whole world will come to visit. This isn't just archaeology, it's economic salvation and cultural renewal.
And so we arrive at this moment, this precise point in time when technology and determination converge. Somewhere beneath our feet, Alexander waits, perhaps in a crystal sarcophagus still gleaming after 23 centuries. Perhaps as dust and memory, his golden coffin long since melted and repurposed. Perhaps in ways we cannot yet imagine. But one thing is certain, we are closer now than any generation before us. The tools exist. The will remains unbroken. The greatest archaeological prize in human history lies within reach. The only question that remains is this: who will be the lucky soul to look upon the face of Alexander the Great?
Perhaps, in the end, the search itself is Alexander's greatest monument. For 2,300 years, he has inspired explorers, funded expeditions, built careers, and broken hearts. He has outlasted empires, survived religions, and transcended cultures. In life, he conquered the known world. In death, he has conquered something far greater, the human imagination. Whether his tomb is found tomorrow, next year, or next century, Alexander has already achieved the only immortality that truly matters. He lives not in some crystal sarcophagus beneath Alexandria's streets, but in the eternal human refusal to surrender to mystery. And that, perhaps, is exactly what he would have wanted. The legend lives on. The search continues, and the greatest story never told waits to be written.